the nation's favourite celebrities.
I like surprises.
Paired up with an expert,
I got excited then.
whoopsie, and a classic car.
Here we go.
Wowza!
Their mission? To scar Britain for antiques.
Am I on safari?
The aim? To make the biggest profit at auction. But it's no easy ride.
Oh dear.
Who will find a hidden gem? Who will take the biggest risk? Will anybody follow expert advice?
I hate it.
There will be worthy winners and valiant losers.
Double drat.
No.
Put your pedal to the metal.
Spend, spend, spend.
This is the Celebrity Antiques Roadtrip. New balls, please. Today, we're in the company of two titans from the world of tennis.
The brakes are a little suspicious on this car. Oh no, oh no!
It's Judy Murray and Greg Ruzetsky.
We're starting to rattle now, Judy.
I always rattle. It's my age.
Oh no, you're but a spring chicken, Jude.
I'm loving the fact that I'm going to be driving this car most of the day, although I am prepared to give you a shot of it.
They're cruising Caledonia in a 1974 MGB.
This is a summer's day in Scotland today, isn't it?
Judy is a former British tennis champion and, of course, mum to two of the sport's big hitters, Jamie and Andy. And she's a good egg. Oh, a mother's pride.
Well, when I told my kids I was going to do the Antiques Roadtrip, they said, "Is that because you're an antique, Mum?" It's very funny.
You're certainly a national treasure, though, receiving an OBE in 2017 for services to tennis, women in sport and charity.
I've heard some old stories of when you used to play against Virginia Wade. She said you were slightly competitive. So the truth's coming out now, Judy.
But Greg's also a force to be reckoned with. He's a former British #1 and was the 1997 BBC Sports Personality of the Year. Nowadays, Greg's a successful tennis pundit. And Judy lasted 8 weeks in Strictly Come Dancing, despite some stiff competition. Today's tussle is a hunt for antiques, with £400 to spend.
I always like to beat the Scots when I'm here in your hometown, Judy.
I'm not a fan of losing, and I think once I get going, then you're going to find yourself in trouble.
Sounds like you better ace it, Greg.
I think they only give us about 400 quid, but you know, don't tell anybody, but I'm going to surplus myself a little bit with a few more pounds.
Good grief. We better have some good experts to keep them in line.
That's a monster of a... Is it a bull?
Bull. That is a bull.
at
I
that.
would say
My
that's
goodness, look at the size of it.
that's got a bit of Charolais in it.
And an Angus. It's Angus Ashworth with Raj Bisram in the 1969 Morgan 4-4.
I've always wanted a Morgan.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're going to give it to you.
They're not.
Afraid not, but if it helps, you're about to meet two sporting legends.
What do you call a girl standing in the middle of a tennis court? Annette.
I actually quite like that.
All I can hope for is that then they don't make too much of a racket.
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing a little preparation, Judy, for this one.
No way you would.
I know, you know, we're coming all the way to Scotland. You're going to have the advantage already because they're going to say, oh, it's Judy Murray. We're going to give her a good price. So I've got to know what's going to happen out here
You're
today.
going to get a lot of home support, I think, from the antique shops.
Well, I'm going to have to try to use my charm to get a few deals today.
They're raring to go. I think it's high time for some introductions, don't you?
Here they come.
Yeah.
Don't run them over yet. How are you? Nice to
Greg,
meet you.
I'm Raj.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
How are
to meet
you?
you
Good
too.
to meet you, Judy.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm with you today, I'm
Angus,
afraid.
hi.
So,
So you've got Murray on your side. We're
I know.
in Scotland. What an advantage.
I know, and I've got
Without
Scottish
a doubt,
names,
I
so
mean, it's...
we've got it in the
we
bag.
are really
Yeah,
happy.
all right, yeah.
It's a
But you've
given.
got charm, I hear, and style, so we should be fine.
Charm and style.
And you've got the looks.
Well, let's not exaggerate too much now.
I think we should beat them to it.
All right,
Really?
then let's do it.
Yeah, come on, let's get going.
Brilliant.
And they're off.
Let's get off. We want to beat Judy and Angus to the first shot.
Typical, them trying to get ahead, but we'll beat, I know a shortcut we'll beat them.
Well, step on it, you two. This dashing duo are motoring.
You know, what I noticed is you got quite a flair for your dressing, Raj. And
Really?
Did you get a good deal on that shirt?
To be honest, I thought I was underdressed today.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Are you usually a little bit
Yeah.
more colorful?
Ah, you wait till tomorrow.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Is that a threat or a promise?
do you think it's going to be quite competitive? You're both obviously very sporty.
It's very important that I do not lose to Greg.
Yes,
I'm just
I
saying.
thought that was going to be the case.
No pressure, Angus. What's the game plan then, boys?
Well, I'm looking for something different, something non-traditional. I want to be surprised. And we're going to spend the £400 because go big or go home, as they say.
Well, no one's heading home. Not anytime soon, because they've got Scotland to traverse before ending up at an auction in Hamilton. First stop, Dundee and Cleppington Antiques and Collectibles Centre.
Well, we're here first.
Hey!
Oh, children, come on. They're running in the shop.
Pathetic.
Oh, it's so rude, isn't it?
They're keen. This shop's packed to the rafters with offerings from 5 dealers.
How's it going, Judy? Is it? How's it? A bit overwhelming.
It is a bit because there's just so much stuff.
What sort of thing are you being drawn to? Is it
Well,
sort of
this will
ceramics
may
or
not surprise you, but there's
a tennis racket?
No, I would go for something like that if I found one for sure.
Intriguing. Spill the beans, Judy.
So it's here, little
Okay.
Victorian money purse, and I really like the
That one.
I like the idea of that it's shaped like a.
It's a Victorian
old-fashioned
stocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite sweet, is that actually? Novel, isn't it?
It's quite different, isn't it?
It's just sort of a base metal and sort of crocheted work, so it's not any particularly sort of high value, but it's the value's in the novelty, really. £45.
Too expensive for that, you think? Or,
Well,
or difficult to get more than.
Well, we could see your powers of negotiation, but it's quite sweet. So I think that's quite, it's different. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Different sells. Stockings, are they a big thing in Scotland?
I'd say thermal stockings.
So, the purse is a possible.
I think it would suit you. Look good, you know?
Any such luck for Greg and Raj?
Are you serious?
There you go, Raj.
A definite improvement. Well done, Raj.
Left or right, Judy?
Left.
Left. Oh my God, look at this.
That's Darth Ruzetsky right there.
You guys are having way too much fun.
Well, yeah, but we're not making any money because we can't find anything.
Well, you guys keep playing and, you know, with your toys, and we'll go do some real work, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Angus, put
Yeah.
the kettle on for us, will you?
Certainly, right.
There's no time for tea. Tut, tut.
These are a bit different, aren't they? Big glass vases.
Yeah, stick some.
Lily vases.
How do you know they're Lily's vases? Because Lily's still wearing them. Actually, in the style of the American orchid Jack in the Pulpit.
This one says 28, and that
28
one
and
says
48, 60, so 76, the pair. Bit of negotiation. They're quite striking, actually, aren't
They
they?
are actually, aren't they?
Do you like them?
Yeah, I do. I really do. And I
think-
would never have even spotted that.
We obviously make a good team. Could be mixed doubles, couldn't we? Against them
Mixed
two.
doubles.
Yeah.
Look, love it.
They're making good progress, I think. What about the other two?
Greg,
Yeah?
come and have a look at this at last. What do you think of these?
Yeah, I think
These
this could...
stone lions.
I think they could do quite nicely, actually.
I mean, garden statuary is really sought after.
Well,
And-
especially in the countryside as well, too.
well, they look like they've got some age to them as well.
Yeah.
So I like them. It's going to come down to price.
Let's get dealer Derek in to talk money.
OK, we've seen something we like the look of. These stone lions, what is the best you could do on those?
£60.
Oh, no, too heavy. I brought my man with me to lift them up, so that's quite good. Gee, come on, Greg.
That's right. You go ahead now, Raj. You try that.
Me, there's no way, OK? There's no way. I'm OK with a leaf.
Okay, well, fair enough.
What about 30 for the two?
No, I can't do that. £50.
OK, well, why don't we split the difference, 40?
Go on, then.
All right. Thank you so much, Derek.
First deal of the day done. £360 left and still more to see. But Derek, you'll need it inside.
We've found these vases, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found them upstairs, and we rather like them as a pair.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should go as a pair. It'd be a shame to split them up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this says 48 and that 28, so is it £28 the pair?
No, 48 for the big one, 28 for the small.
Oh, right, so
they're
not a
individually
pair.
play.
No. Oh.
Ah, cheeky.
I'll do the two, £50.
We were looking at about 40, weren't we?
45.
Yeah? Shall we
Let's
do a deal?
Okay.
I'll hold that because you've got the monies.
I've got the money. Got the money in my back pocket.
Judy's got the purse
I feel
strings.
like Del Boy.
Lovely jubbly. And with that, they're off, with £355 left in the coffers.
Oh, Judy, first buy done.
I
All right.
know, look at them. I think they're tremendous. They're so unusual.
Yeah, they're going to go well with the Morgan, aren't they? I'll try not to drop them, though.
Yeah, best not.
Greg, what do you think of that one?
I quite like this painting. I think it could be something that we'd be interested in getting, just because it's got the signature of the artist.
Scottish artist Sir William Russell Flint, well known for his nudes. This is A Castle on a Cliff.
Let's call Derek in and see what he can tell us. Derek?
Yeah, coming.
Derek,
Yeah.
tell us about this picture.
Russell Flint.
Yeah.
Print, about 1960s, 50s, 60s by the frame.
Ticket price on this signed artist's proof print is £65.
I was thinking maybe about 15 to start off with.
Oh, definitely wouldn't do that.
If we moved that up to, say, 20, would that work for you?
25.
25. That sounds like a fair enough deal. What do you think there yourself,
Yeah.
partner?
I think, partner, that sounds like a good decision. £25, I think we should go for it.
That'll leave them with £335.
Greg, I think this picture is really nice. It's only a print, but Russell Flint, of course, big name. And this mark here is the artist's proof mark, which gives us a bit more value. All right, let's go.
Nice one, chaps. Meanwhile, Judy's reminiscing about hitting the Strictly dance floor. Hope she doesn't give anything away.
It was great fun, but terrifying on Saturday night when you actually have to do something that you're rubbish at in front of a live audience, judges, and a TV audience.
Yep.
So, yeah, terrifying but great fun.
They're headed to St Andrews to find out how a traditional Scottish dance form was saved in the nick of time. And don't worry, Judy, this time the pros have taken to the stage. For now.
I'm getting a little bit nervous, actually.
Seriously?
In case you have to do any dancing, yeah.
Come on, you're bound to have dancing feet.
Country dancing, a type of social dance for couples, gained popularity in England in the mid-17th century. It only arrived in Scotland after the Union in 1707. Very elegant. The traditional dance continues to be taught today by instructors like Rachel Shankland.
So, Rachel, tell us a little bit about what we're watching down there.
We're watching the jig light and airy.
They certainly look light and airy on their feet.
Yeah.
So originally actually English, not Scottish. That's a bit...
Yeah, what's that all
I'm
about?
sorry.
There's English country dance and Scottish country dance, and as dancing moved up to the lowlands of Scotland, gradually went north with lots of dancing all over all the different cities. And there was different dancing masters called dances who had taught the favourite dances of the time.
By the 18th century, country dancing had taken Scotland by storm. The unique Caledonian style would evolve from a fusion with traditional Highland dance originating from the clans. Scottish country dancing would go on to influence ceilidh dancing at social gatherings forever.
And what is it about it that makes it so unique?
I think it's the history of it as it's progressed over the centuries, but also the footwork were more precise in other forms of country dance, and the kilts for the men as well.
I didn't wear mine today, sorry.
Thank goodness for that.
Oh, I don't know, Angus. I've heard you've got the legs for it, mate. In the 20th century, country dancing came close to dying out as newer forms of dance took over.
So, Rachel, what dance are we seeing now?
You're seeing the reel, the triumph. Reels relate back to the Middle Ages, and they're quite lively dances. This one is a traditional one that is quite commonly danced, and it links back to the early 1800s.
Wow.
I mean, how have these dances survived the test of time?
We talked about the dancing masters earlier. They kept them alive throughout the 18th century, and the triumph was in the first book that was published by the Society. And now we have over 50 books published with lots of different dances.
It was two women, Jean Milligan and Isabel Stewart, who wrote the first book of 12 dances by recalling them from their own childhoods. They went on to create what's known as the Royal Scottish Country Dance Society.
We now have dancers not only in Scotland, but all over the world.
Great Scottish export.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the dances to make it into Jean and Isabel's book was this, the Strathspey, originating in Scotland in the early 1700s.
I mean, you should be absolutely fine at this doing Strictly. I mean, you've had
Did
professional
you see me
lessons.
do Strictly? I'm Scottish, so I could be
It's
a
in your
natural.
blood. I mean, you should be able to do this with your eyes closed.
Well, there's only one way to find out. I hope you've got your dancing shoes on.
Right hand half turn.
Scottish dancing continues to go from strength to strength,
And circle.
with the society now boasting some 11,000 members around the world. All thanks to the two women who almost 100 years ago preserved the tradition for generations to come.
Left hand.
Bravo! It's a 10 from me! So let's hot-foot it to Greg and Raj.
I don't know about you, but we've got a lot of money left, and I'm for spending it.
Angus and Judy they're really competitive, so we have to be careful because you know they want to win. They're quiet but dangerous.
It's always the quiet ones, isn't it?
Yeah, silent like farts. Luckily, they're headed a safe distance away to the village of Glenrothes.
Antiques and coffee, what more do you want with your life?
There we go.
Doesn't get any better, does it?
Nope.
Not in my book, Greg. Next up is Michael Young Antiques, which is full of high-end treasures.
Let's get shopping, Greg.
All right, let's go in.
Remember, the boys have £335 left to spend.
Oof, $4.25. I think I'll pass. Raj, I think we found something within our budget.
Really?
Ooh! A Lake Victorian oak sideboard. You sure you can afford it, Greg?
Yeah, it's only about 100 times more than we have to spend. It's only 40 grand this
Oh,
time.
is that all? Well, this is where you really can show me your negotiating skills.
Even for me, that will be tough to get down to 335 pounds.
Yep, it might be pushing it a tad. Keep looking.
Greg, I saw these earlier. They're little, I mean, these are so well made. If you have a look at the detail that's gone into these, they're absolutely super. I mean,
the bottoms are quite impressive. It's almost like a horseshoe underneath of a horse.
I mean, I guess maybe a blacksmith would have actually made these studs and the horseshoe-shaped thing. I mean, it's really lovely.
So how old do you think these are?
These are definitely 19th century. These would have cost a lot of money in the day.
Yeah, and they're up for £145 today.
Well, let's see what we get these for, because if we get them for the right price, we should do it.
Michael's the man they need to charm.
Michael, can we make you a one-time offer? Greg?
Well, can we offer you 40 quid for those shoes?
What?
You're going to have them for 40 quid.
Thank you
Oh,
very
thank you
much.
very much.
Indeed. Thank you so much.
What? A generous discount? He's just caved in. I'd try £300 for the sideboard if I were you. Strike while the iron's hot.
These spoons, okay, I mean, actually, look at the case. I quite like the case. The case is there. But these are apostle spoons. There would have been 12 originally,
Yes,
12 apostles.
apostles.
Now, if these were genuine silver apostle spoons, these would be worth thousands. But these aren't, okay? That's the bad news, okay? Because these are just copies. But they're actually quite well made.
Yeah, the quality seems excellent.
Michael, tell me what you know about these, please.
They're not 17th century apostle spoons. No. They're very much later. Beautiful apostles on them, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, they are. What's the best you could do on them?
60 quid, would that suit you?
Oh, to be honest, I would prefer to pay a lot less than that. Can you do any better?
Do you think we could get it down to 20 quid and make a deal on that?
Well, I don't know. You've had a hard day, so let's say 20 quid.
Let's shake on it, Michael. Thank you so much.
Good Lord. Now that's another fantastic deal. Well, I'm blowed.
Well, Greg, have you had a good day today?
Oh, it's been a fantastic...
Your first day road tripping.
I know, it's been an adventure. It's my first time I've done this properly.
It's been very different working with you. It's been...
Different good, I'm sure. Now, what about the other pair?
One shop down.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah,
really
well,
good.
You're still talking to me, so that's something. Yeah.
And you danced. I mean, what's not to love?
Well, yeah. Less said about that, the better.
Yeah, don't have any nightmares, Judy. Sleep tight. Next morning, our tennis twosome are limbering up for the second set.
I know how competitive you are.
Not at all, Judy.
You blooming are. You've been researching all of this. You are so well informed.
Don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah, pull the other one.
I'm not a fan of losing, and I wouldn't like to lose to you, that is for sure.
Well, can you imagine living in Scotland to Rosetsky? I mean, that would really be a problem for the Murrays.
It would. Shocking. My kids would never forgive me.
Oh, no.
Things are hotting up. I hope our experts are firing on all cylinders.
We've got two tennis professionals. I mean, of course they're going to be competitive. And Greg, without a doubt, he wants to win. I'm telling you now, he wants to win.
Well, I think Judy, she plays it quite like, you know, she's not that bothered and it's just a bit of fun. But I think under the surface, she wants to beat him. She was laughing a bit at me, which, you know, wasn't very nice.
Well, to be honest, a lot of people do that.
Well, it was my dancing. I thought it was quite good, but, you know.
Angus, have you seen yourself in the mirror?
Well, you should say that.
With Angus, I could see on his face what he was thinking all the time. So I'm not sure if he's the best poker player.
He's right. Let's put him to the test. It's show and tell time.
He's loving that car.
He loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, well done.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You sleep well?
Oh, very
Hi,
well.
Greg.
The partner.
Are we all right? Yeah, we're good.
You ready?
Yeah, we
Ready
are.
ahead?
How are you, Angus?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, good, thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, do you want to see what we got yesterday?
We'd love to, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it'd be great.
I think so, yeah.
Look at these.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Wow. Look at those.
Very nice. They're very nice. What do you think, Greg?
Lovely,
Would
aren't
you
they?
have those in your house is the question.
Judy would.
I would.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I think they're stunning.
They, on a, you know, in the centre of a table, on a sideboard, very striking. So, I mean, they just jumped out in the shop. I mean, in that sea of
Not literally.
items, they were just there and you could just see them.
At £45, the vases were but a snip from their budget, and their only buy.
Well, what did you get?
Well, come and have a look.
Put these away.
These are rather special because these were made for a giant.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready for this?
Well,
I said they were made for a giant.
well, no, they're children's, aren't they? East Lancashire clogs, they are.
Perfect.
Yep.
Spot
I've done
on.
a bit of clog dancing in my time, and that's
Heard
what
about
they
your
are.
dancing.
Vintage clogs.
They are.
Are they wooden?
The wooden sole, yeah, and then there'll be iron shod
Look at
underneath.
those.
How much do you pay for them? Are you going to tell us? 15, 20 pounds, something like that?
To be honest, you're close. You're very, very close. We paid 40 for them. Fantastic. And
40?
I was over the moon.
Greg and Raj were also enchanted by a pair of composition lions, a Russell Flint signed proof, and a set of 6 Apostles spoons, spending just £125 of their £400 budget.
Have a lovely day.
Yeah, you have fun too.
Not terribly sincere.
Right, onto the shops. Big shopping day today, Judy.
Yeah, we're off. We need to do better today.
We are going to be on fire today, don't you worry.
Oh, a little unnerved, are we?
What did you make of the shoes?
The clogs.
Yeah.
What I liked underneath of them was the horseshoe thing on the
Yeah,
bottom.
the iron shodding on them.
I mean, 40 quid? Really?
I don't
Somebody
think
would
that-
spend more than that on that.
I don't think there's any profit in them, if I'm honest.
I hope not.
Neil, they were taking the mick out of our little shoes there, weren't they?
They were taking the mick out of our little shoes, and to be honest, I think it was more jealousy.
What did you think of the vases?
Not a lot. I think we, Greg, should be very confident.
Do you think we'll beat him?
Yeah, I do actually think we'll beat him because I'm confident you are going to help me to
Okay. No
identify
pressure,
some extra
yeah.
special
Yeah.
pieces
I see what you did there. Just put all the blame on me. Just, you know.
Absolutely.
Well, it's almost time to gird those expert loins, Angus. Next stop for him and Judy is Ward Toll.
Second shop, raring to go.
Country Homes Antiques, here we
That's
come.
all right, isn't it?
There's 1,400 square feet of collectibles here. Let's get hunting.
Anything catching your eye, Judy, if we...
Well, actually, like this,
Yeah.
which is a little bit random, but it's quite cool, I think.
The old gong.
The old gong. What would you use that for?
It's decorative. Call the children to dinner. Or grandchildren, maybe.
Maybe in Downton Abbey. Not sure about Hamilton. I think that's a pass.
Anything else sort of caught your attention?
Well, I saw a really cool Art Deco scent bottle through here.
Terminology.
It's only because it says it on the tag.
Oh, right, okay.
Like I would know what that was.
Oh, tell us more.
That's quite striking, Santa.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
£62.
Too much? Much too much. Are we going half of that?
Yeah, really. So we'll keep that as a possible, and let's see if we can find something else.
Okay.
Judy Murray.
Good idea. She's clearly got her eye on the ball, eh? Hang on. Is that?
That's very thoughtful of you.
Strawberries and creams. Would you like some?
Yeah, of course I would.
I bet Greg and Raj aren't getting these.
No, this is preferential treatment.
Oh, I know. Well, especially for you.
Here we go. Oh, lovely. Where did you get these?
I just went and picked them. I don't know.
You did not.
I did. I just
They're
thought
delicious.
make you feel, you know, like you're back at Wimbledon, and because this is like the finals, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is almost as good.
Almost.
Almost, indeed. Time?
Is Raj, look, Jester with his bad jokes.
It's even got a pink outfit on.
Well,
Wow.
actually, that's probably going to be a Dalton little figure, which Dalton figure's really gone off the boil. But there's one chap that if you're going to buy one of these, if it's got his name on it, they can do really big money, and that's CJ Noak.
A renowned Dalton designer of the late 19th and early 20th century.
So it's...
CJ Noak, the jester.
Mm-hmm. Came in different colours. Some colours were more valuable than others. That could be a little good find hidden up there.
Yeah.
£60. Ooh.
Good, not good?
Yeah, I think that's all right.
Okay.
Obviously, we want to get it down from there. But I've seen these anywhere from sort of £50 up to a couple of £100.
I think it's a sign, though, the jester.
The jester.
When we've been with Rajol.
I know. God, he's not that funny, is he?
Well, he thinks he is. That's
I
the
know,
most
I know.
important thing.
I mean, it would fit quite well, because it could be a court jester, couldn't it?
Oh, Angus. Time for a rally with the man in charge.
Andrew.
Hey.
Hi, how you doing? You all right?
I'm fine, yes.
Good. We found a few things. One of them's the little jester, because it reminds us of Raj. I wasn't sure.
What's that, the size?
Well, he's just a bit of a joker. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 sizes of these, and
Yes.
this particular size I've not seen in 40 years I've been in the business, so I think you've got a chance.
We see them all the time down in
The little
Yorkshire.
ones, do you?
Yeah, loads of them. Yeah,
I haven't
loads.
seen these in
I'm
Scotland.
joking.
I'm so loads of them. What's he like?
I was believing you.
Were you? Oh, right. They were convincing. Yeah, I'm just trying to talk it down a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're talking down. £60 on it, and I want you to do well with it. What do I think? I think for you to get out of it, I would need to give it to you for about £40.
Right. Okay. Well, that's one to think about. So we're looking at 40 on that.
Yeah.
I spotted the Art Deco scent bottle. I just thought it was really striking design, really cool.
I could give you that for £50.
Decision time, you two.
Is there a bigger discount for both? You know, like buy one get one free.
Bog off, you mean?
If the jester was 40 and
Yeah.
the scent bottle was 50,
That's 90.
that together, that we'd offer 75.
£70 for the
75
two.
for the two of them.
Yes.
Do you want to do it? £75. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff. 35 for the jester, 40 for the scent bottle, and time to hit a road with £280 still in hand.
Right. On to the last one, Judy.
Now, where are the other pair?
Greg, you grew up in Canada. I mean, it's a vast country. You know, when you were younger, you spend a lot of time camping, etc., all the outdoor pursuits?
You know, every summer, my family and I, we drive down to America, and they had these beautiful campsites where you parked in and you were on the lakes, and you could cook your own food, and you'd be outside camping, and it was absolutely brilliant. So it was good fun. Raj, you look like a man who can rough it and do anything.
You've got it in one. Crocodile Dundee and me, we're like that.
We'll soon see, because they're about to experience life in the great outdoors in the rural idyll of Carbeth. Hutting is the practice of living self-sufficiently in a wooden retreat and is common in Canada. But the community here have had to fight to keep the hutting lifestyle alive in Scotland. Historian Leslie Riddoch is here to fill Greg and Raj in.
So can you tell us a little bit about the history of hutting in Scotland?
Well, it was actually after the First World War, soldiers came back from that war determined to have better lives. And it coincided with people getting a maximum working day, getting pay with holidays, and obviously in wooded latitudes like this, where are you going to go? What are you going to use? You're going to use trees to create huts. It happened most quickly in the likes of Canada and America.
Okay.
And obviously in the Nordic countries. We're across the North Sea, but we have 600 huts here. They have almost 600,000.
Wow.
But building even these 600 huts hasn't come easily. A small number of lairds owned Scottish land and had always been reluctant to allow hutting, but possibilities opened up after the First World War.
Land values collapsed, and so more sort of entrepreneurial landowners realised they were going to have to do different things. So people were able to find a way in, and that's really where hutting came from at all in Scotland. And then of course for Carbeth there was a special interruption in the war, because in the Second World War, in the Blitz, which really hit Clydebank, that had munitions factories about 8 miles walk over the hills, extra huts were built here to let people live here permanently during the war, and some of them never really left.
There's one man in particular that Carbeth has to thank for its hutting community, William Ferris, a native Glaswegian. Ferris returned from World War I looking for a better life, and he knew where to find it.
He managed to go through about 5 of the major battles of the war unscathed with 2 of his colleagues, and they wrote a letter to the landowner here saying that the thing that had kept them alive was saving money in the hope that they could put it down and get a hut here, because they used to camp here before the war, and it was those memories of this beautiful place that was keeping them alive. They got a response saying no, but actually Ferris was very persistent. He came back here with his 2 friends. They met the landowner, Alan Barnes-Graham. The 2 of them got on like a house on fire, and eventually he charmed the landowner into saying, okay, you can have some huts, but you know, you will manage it all. You'll do all the paperwork, you'll collect all the money. And in the end, William Ferris was the only guy who didn't get a hut here, because he was so busy administering huts for all the working people. Now, he was really astonishing, because not only did he set up Carbeth, he set up the Scottish Rights of Way Society, the Camping Club, the Caravanning Club. He set up Britain's first youth hostel near Loch Lomond, again charming another landowner. And although he was described by them all as a straight-talking rough diamond who came from the working class East End of Glasgow, he was able to persuade landowners to go a little bit.
Amazing man.
Yeah, amazing man. Leslie, there are a lot of midges around here. Okay, can we go somewhere else and continue
Absolutely.
the story?
You've done very well so far, right? So let's go to Ali's hut and she can show you what the inside looks like.
All right.
Lovely.
It's thanks to William Ferris that hutters like Ali Ferguson can call this place home.
Hi, how are you, Ali?
She's resided here for some 40 years.
I'm Greg, nice to meet you.
How do you do?
Hi, Ali, I'm Raj. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Raj. You want to come in and
Yes,
see
please.
what hutting's about?
Yeah.
Here we go. This is it.
Oh, lovely.
This is it. So you can, it's quite small. It's just a single space divided up into areas here for different purposes. So
Where's your, like, you know, your bedroom, your kitchen, all those things that you need living in
this is the bedroom, and the mezzanine.
Okay.
Right, we have all the features here.
Ali, I haven't noticed a bathroom. I mean, do you have water supply here?
No. Oh, we don't have water. The water's outside. I bring the water in to boil water to do my washing, about a kettle full. Same with getting washed. It's all quite good fun. It's actually really good because I employ myself living my life. It's not all to hand. I've got to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's part of the joy of being a hutter.
There are now around 140 huts at Carbeth, and the practice is becoming more popular as people look for environmentally friendly ways to live. Enchanted by the hutting lifestyle, though, Greg and Raj are going to help hutter Angus build his new home.
I think we've got to get one of these high-vis jackets on, though.
Right.
Here you go, Raj.
Thank you.
He's unbelievable at building, honestly.
Oh.
You wouldn't know it from looking
Yeah.
at him, but he's incredible.
Yeah, you heard of the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah,
I had nothing to do with that.
that's good.
Okay.
We're going to put this board onto this frame at the front. Where that end up at the window.
How long would it take you to build this hut?
Usually for me, 8 weeks.
And now you got our help, probably about, what, 48 hours?
9 weeks.
Aren't you supposed to get a screw though first?
Carbeth was designated a conservation area by Stirling Council in 2001. And the hutters were able to buy the land and preserve their unique lifestyle. Although I think Greg and Raj might do with a little more practice before calling themselves hutters.
Yeah, if you didn't want it straight, that's good.
No, there's going
that's
straight,
good.
right.
Meanwhile, back in civilization.
Can't think of a better thing to do than driving through lovely Scottish scenery.
In a Morgan.
Classic car, in a Morgan with Judy Murray.
I aim to please dear Angus. He and Judy are motoring forth to Clydebank, to the northwest of Glasgow.
We've got £280 left, Judy. We've got loads of money in the bank.
Yep.
We're going to try and spend it all.
I think I'd like to if we see the right thing.
Right thing.
Well, Judy, with £280 in your pocket, old girl, there should be plenty to choose from at Keen on Antiques. Get it? K-E-A-N.
I've been here before.
Do you recognise it?
Yeah. Oh, well, I think we'll be all right here. Good Scottish lads.
Are you listening, Ryan?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Judy.
Nice to meet you.
Hi there. And this is Angus.
You all right? You got Team Scotland with you today. Well, semi-Scottish.
Thanks for having us. Is it OK if we have a look round?
Yeah, of course. Just give me a shout if you need any help.
Thanks very much.
Yes, lots of stuff to see, Judy.
Something for Greg.
Tennis, Judy?
I've got 2 more items that I need to purchase. Everything that I've bought so far has been kind of ceramic based, so I feel like I want my last 2 items to be something a bit different from that.
How's it going, Judy?
Wow, well, I saw a couple of really nice bookends.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of bird marble, just in the next aisle.
Like eagles?
Yeah, I quite
And you
like
live
those.
somewhere near Gleneagles-ish.
It's a sign.
Sign. Could be a sign, yeah.
I like those.
Okay. Well, I've made a bit of a short list, actually. I've seen a few
really?
interesting things, not necessarily high value.
Let's go and have a look at those then.
Yeah, okay. Right, just this way.
Okay.
This is one of the things that I've seen, Judy.
Uh-huh.
I know you're probably looking at it and going, what on earth is that lump of metal?
And what is it?
Well,
It's a money
currently
box.
it's a money box, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's come out of, this is Cardonald, which is in Glasgow, munitions factory.
Yep.
1919, so end of the First World
War.
War. Probably come to the end, they've got surplus stuff in the factory and somebody's fashioned it into a money box.
Ticket price, £45.
It's local interest. The auction we're going to is not far from here, so it kind of fits.
I like that because it feels like we're buying a real antique. I like the whole First World War, Scottish interest, munitions factory, surplus. I like that whole story that goes with that.
You've piqued Judy's interest there, Angus. Let's leave them pondering and catch up with Greg and Raj.
Greg, it is an honour and a pleasure to be in your company. I mean, you know, you were one of the tennis greats. What has been your best ever tennis match?
Well, there are a lot of highlights for me, but there's one that's so memorable was when I was playing Pete Sampras in the finals of the Paris Open Masters Series. And this rarely happens in your tennis careers when you wake up and before the start of the match, you know you're going to beat the #1 player on the planet. And it was just magical. And to be able to be the first British man to ever win that event against the world #1 was probably the most memorable moment in my career.
Wow. And going to the extreme, what was the worst match you ever played?
Well, let's just say there's one player who doesn't beat Greg Rosetsky 10 times in a row with a dodgy back, bad knee, can barely hold his tennis racket, is Goran Ivanisevic. He was a nightmare for me as a player.
Oh, really?
When I finally beat him in Auckland, New Zealand, and he had a bad back, he could barely walk, called the trainer, was sick, and I still barely beat him in 3 sets.
You've probably forgotten it by now.
Thanks for reminding me.
Now it's time for Greg's final set against Judy Murray in Glasgow in the small but perfectly formed Emporium Antiques.
All right.
They've got £275 left to spend.
Look, Greg, have you seen one of these before?
Yes, I have, actually.
You have?
Now, I'm going to test you, because you've been testing me on my knowledge.
Okay.
Why do they use the press on a tennis racket?
Well, to keep the shape, obviously.
Because it's wood. Well done. One point to
good.
us.
1 point to me.
And what is the string made out of?
As far as I know, they made them out of cow gut and cat gut, but...
Well, usually cow gut. How's the grip?
What do you mean? Well, how's the grip?
Well, the grip's not in the best of condition.
No, it's not. Look, it's all loose.
It's solid down there, and the butt cap, you see, that's the original Schlesinger butt cap, which is quite good. It's a lovely piece. Now, what would you value this at?
I guess I'd probably value it about 20 to 40 pounds.
God, you're generous, mate.
Am I?
You're generous.
Okay.
I thought you were a good negotiator. If you want a fair price with the person in shop, I think 10 quid and you've got yourself a reasonable deal. That's what these rackets go for. I don't think this tenner item's going to do the business, will it?
I don't think so, but I have to say, I've learnt something, so that's really good.
Every day's a school day, Raj.
Greg, you've tested my knowledge, okay? I'm going to test yours, because I know you know quite a lot about antiques. What do you think that is?
Well, let's see here. What does it say on there? What's that, R and N? And then a serial number.
Yep.
It looks like it would be something for horses.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Am I right?
You are absolutely spot on.
And so what do you do with this for the horses?
Okay, this in the stables,
yep.
Right? This would be up against the wall, and then the saddles would sit on here, and this actually looks like a child's one.
Do you think this would make any money at auction?
They do, but I think they're going to be a lot less than we want to spend. We want to spend at least a 3-figure sum.
Okay, and that's what we have to do. Go big or go home, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a spirit. What else could be hiding in here?
They look interesting, Greg.
Yeah, they do, actually. A St. George cross.
I'm not sure, but I've got a funny feeling there might be an area in Glasgow that's called St. George's Cross.
I assume it's the station around here. It looks like a board that you'd have in a station.
I think you might be right.
Okay, there looks like there's a pair of 1, 2, 3 there.
Let's call Hugh in.
Yeah. Hugh, can you help us here with we're looking at these 3 St. George's Cross.
What do you know about these?
Yeah, so these are Glasgow signs from the underground, probably 1970s. They are really popular at the moment. Most people are collecting these things.
What have you got on them? Because I couldn't see a price.
So the price for these is 95 each.
Okay, Hugh, so that's 285 you're asking. That's obviously retail. What would be the best you could do?
I think we could probably do 150, Raj.
150.
I mean, that's a pretty good deal.
That's not bad. That's £50 each. Could you do £100?
Since it's for you guys, I'll do £100, Raj.
You sure?
Yeah.
A cracking deal, chaps. Back in Clydebank, whatever happened to Judy's birdie bookends?
So they're just here.
Ah, the Eagles. And the lady from Gleneagles.
They're a very handsome pair.
They are. They've got nice colour and sort of veining in them. Little glass inset eyes. Sort of thing you'd have in your house?
I would.
Very dashing. They're carved marble and date from the 1920s.
£48 on them. They could take somebody's fancy. Do you think Hamilton are big on eagles?
I hope so.
Good spot, Judy. And the little bird told me that you found something else, Angus.
The other thing, now you might look a bit perplexed at this. This.
Seriously, what is that?
Well, it's a vacuum pump.
A what?
A vacuum pump.
Obviously.
Originally, you would have pumped this, which creates a vacuum. You would have had a lead on there. You've put diesel or petrol in your car, and it draws it out. Do you know what would happen with this?
Somebody would buy that now and tart it all up and turn it into a lamp.
I don't even
Something
know why I'm
like
here.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Get a nice
I
bit of
could see
copper
that.
tubing on there or something, put a lance on it, that makes a great feature piece.
As a collector's piece.
Quirky, different, unusual, and it's Scottish.
It's Scottish.
So I'm trying to tick the Scottish box.
Ah, and it's £75. Decisions. It's between the pump, the bookends, and the money box.
I think all three are possibles, and I think what we should do is go and find Ryan and see if we can what we can negotiate the best prices on.
Oh, yeah. Good thinking, Jude.
Ryan. Hello. We found a few items, haven't we, Judy?
We have, yeah.
Yeah. Great. The Eagle bookends.
Yeah.
Got £48 ticket price on them.
Okay.
The little military money box, they got about 45 on that. And the pump, I couldn't quite make out the ticket if it was 25 or 75.
Hey, 75, you cheeky monkey.
The Eagles could be 20. The wee money bank could be 20 also.
Okay.
And the vacuum pump, 15.
I think, given that the other three pieces that we've bought are all ceramic, I think I'd like to go for the two antique Scottish things.
So, that's £15 for the vacuum pump, I can't believe that, and 20 for the munitions money box. Very kind and generous discounts. Thank you.
Auction, here we come.
Here we come, here we come.
I mean, Greg, it's going to be difficult for us. We are here on Judy's home patch.
I think we still have a good shot, but it's going to be tough.
Judy, all the hard work's done.
And we'll serve them up a treat at the auction. It'll be ace.
Yeah, certainly will. Sweet dreams. Auction day is upon us. The top's down and spirits are up.
I feel like I've got home advantage here. Does that worry you?
Yeah, it does worry me. For some reason, this Murray family is quite popular over here in Scotland.
I'll be shouting, that's mine, that's mine. Get your bids in.
I'll be, no, that's not Judy's.
Our teams began this trip in Dundee, touring Scotland from east to west, and they end up in Hamilton. It's here they're facing a showdown at L.S. Smiley and Sons.
Hello, wow. Hi, how are you?
Hello, how are you doing? Hello, my lady.
Hello.
Oh,
Here
wow.
we are. May the fun begin.
Hello,
You
partner.
all right?
Yeah,
see
I'm
you.
fine, thank you.
How are you?
Hello.
Greg, I'm good.
You're looking very smart
I'm
today.
really sorry that you're not going to win today, but...
That's all right, we'll do our best. I've had a very good expert here, so I can't complain about anything.
Well, he's got something right today.
You've got the brightest one.
You got the... Oh, thanks.
Ooh, I'm sure she was just talking about the outfits, Angus. Anyway, let's get on with it. Greg and Raj forked out £225 on their 5 auction lots. Time for Team Judy to eye up the competition.
Oh, well, these look good, Judy. The Apostle spoons, only they're not silver, they're just plated, so not that good, really.
I thought there was 12 apostles.
Yeah, there was. Well, they're not going to do very well on that, are they?
Judy and Angus spent less, £155 of their £400 budget on their 5 offerings, including one chosen specially for Raj.
They said it reminded them of me. I don't understand that.
Well,
I'm much taller than that.
You are definitely much taller and much better looking, I can say as well.
Well, that's nice.
This is quite collectible, because I remember it's Dalton and people are thinking of the past. So what do you think of this, Rod?
It is collectible. This could do rather well.
Yeah, umpire for the day is auctioneer Jim Henderson. What did he say?
The glass lily vases, quite modern, good condition though, would find a place in any house. Underground signs from the Glasgow station, again got that industrial look, plus you've got the railway collectability.
Yeah, we're all set up for bids in the room, on the phone and on the internet. So, to begin.
I'm sort of nervous excited, which I think is a good place to
It's
be.
a very good place to be. Yeah, well, enjoy.
First serve from Greg and Raj with their underground signs.
Very unbid, sir. At £30. At £30 for the underground signs. 5 now. And 40. And 5. 50. 5. At 55. At 60 now. At 60 bid. 5. At 65. 70 bid. At 70 bid 5. At 75.
Come on.
As long as we break even, I'll be happy, honestly.
5 at 75 at 5. 80 now. At 80 bid. 5 now. At 85.
Yes,
At
he's going there. We'll get now.
At 85.
He's milking this.
90 now. And 5. And 95. 100 now. At 100. At 100, sir. 110. At 110. At 110. At 110 pounds.
Ah, a gruelling rally, but they made it. And a bit more.
He had a full head of hair before that.
It stalled about 3 times, didn't it? I mean, it completely stalled.
Sweat up there.
I mean, look at you.
Now the Jack in the Pulpit vases.
£10, bid at 10. At 10, 12 now. At 12, at 14 now, 14, 16, 16, bid 16, 18. At 18, 20. At 20, bid 20. Surely more, folks. At 20, bid 2 with the lady. At 22, 4. At 26. At 28. 30 now. At 35. At 35, lovely vases. At 35. At 35, at 40 online. And 45 in the room now. At 45 in the sale room at £45. At 45, at 5, at 45, at 5, at 45, all done. At £45.
Well, it's not a loss.
Yes, that's
well done. There's commission off, so it's technically, yeah, slight loss.
Next up for Greg and Raj, the child's clogs.
50 on bid. At 50 bid for them. At 50 bid the shoes. At 50 on
Look, they're lovely craftsmanship. Andy Murray used to wear these.
At 55, top corner now.
60.
At 60. At 60 the top corner. 5 now online.
One's for Jamie and one's for Andy when they were kids.
At 70 top corner. At 75 online. At 75 online.
Look at beautiful, stunning.
At 80 now.
Come on.
80 bid.
No.
Fresh bid at 80. At 80 on bid for the shoes. At 80 bid, 80, 80, 80 bid, 80, 80, 85 now. At 90. At 90 bid. 5. 100 for the shoes.
No,
Not 100.
Make it 100.
100. Bet and bet at 100, 100, 100. All done now. At £100.
And they are striding ahead.
Wow.
Well done, guys.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done, guys.
That sounded sincere. Judy and Angus next with the fixer-upper.
£18 online, 20 now, and 2 at 22, 4, 6, 26 bid at 8 at 30.
Made a profit.
There you go, you're in profit.
30, yeah.
5 now, at 35, at 35 bid, 40 now, sir, at 40 in the sale room, at 40 bid, 5 now online, 50
yourselves here slightly.
Well, they're doing well.
At 50 bid, out online now, 5 now, at 55 fresh bid,
it's worth
at
one more,
55
sir.
rounded up, at 55 bid, at £55.
Someone else saw the potential there too.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done, well done, well done. That's
Excellent.
great profit.
Will it be a roar or a whimper from Greg's lion?
30 on bid at 30. At 30 bid for the pair of lines. 35 now in the room at 35. At 35 bid for the lines. At 30, 40 bid now online at 40. At 40 bid 5 now. 50. At 50 bid. At 50 bid 50 bid.
Come on,
55 now. At 55 for the lines. At 55 at 5. 60 now on the telephone. £60.
Yeah.
At £60. At
See, I told
Is that your mum on the phone?
Bit more.
No international dialing
At
allowed.
60 all done. At £60 in the telephone.
Not to be sniffed at.
That's about right.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I told 65.
60. Yeah, well done.
I think they were about.
We're going to do Greg and Judy's antique road trip soon.
Yeah.
You guys will be the other ones with us getting
Maybe
We'll
we
let you
can
get the coffee.
maybe we can come on as your celebrities.
Yes, you could. You never know.
Yeah, maybe not, eh, Raj? The munitions money box now.
With interest, I can start the bidding at £30 in the book.
Yes.
At £30 for the money bank. 5 now. 40. 5. At 45 at the back. At 45. 50 now, sir. At 50. At 50 straight in front. At 55. At 55, 60. At 60. At 5.
It's gorgeous. And it's heavy.
At 65. Good taste, young man. At 65.
Very good sense,
At 5, at 65, at 5, at 65, at 5. All done. At £65.
Well done.
Well done, guys.
Well done.
Yeah, nice find. They're catching up.
You've done really well, I have to say, with that, because do you think it's because of the Scottish background, or do you think it's because of you, Judy?
No, it's entirely down to this
It was a
remarkable
little
piece.
young lad. He was probably only about 7 or 8 that bought
Yeah, I
it.
know.
Obviously, he was looking for
I
money.
spoke to his parents, and they said he just loves Judy. His whole room is covered with pictures of Judy. Yeah.
Really?
Can Greg and Raj hold on to their lead with the 6 apostle spoons?
30 and bid straight in front. 5 now. 40 and 5 and 50. At 50 bid straight in front at £50 for the spoons.
they're not.
You'll
At
never
50
see another
bid.
set like
At
this.
50 unbid. At 50 bid, 50 bid, 50. At £50 of spoons.
Well done.
God, you're
that
so
was a
happy
result.
about that, aren't you?
They smashed it.
It was the casing and the look, to be quite
The,
honest.
the case
is
looked
that what it
good.
was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the presentation of them was nice.
It's not all about substance all the time, it's presentation.
Next for Judy and Angus, the Royal Dalton Jester.
10 for him. 10 unbid, 10 at 10 unbid. At 10 unbid,
Charles,
10.
no.
Any advance in 10. 12 now. 14. 16. At 16, 18. At 18 bid. Top corner. 18, 20 now. And 2. At 22. At 22, 4.
You actually want that in your house?
No, I wouldn't, but I thought it because the guy we bought it from said it was a really rare piece in that size.
In the room at 26. 8 now online.
He rounded up to 30. It's slow, but it's climbing.
At 30 bid, 30 bid, 30 bid, 30 bid, 30 bid. All done. At £30.
Not so funny now, eh?
Wow. What did we pay for that?
Did you pay for it?
35.
Oh!
The boys' Russell Flint signed proof is their final offering.
30 unbid, thank you. 30 bid. At 30 bid with the lady.
That's a lot of money, that.
At 30 bid, 35 online. And 40 now. At 40 bid, 45 now. Fresh bidder. 50 now. At 50. At 50 bid with the lady.
It's gonna go.
At 50
Right, come on.
pounds. 5 now. 60 now. At 60. At £60.
Greg and Raj have a big advantage now.
Well done.
Well, you made a profit. I actually would buy that picture myself, to be quite honest. I really like it.
Can Judy's scent bottle change the game?
£30 unbid. 5 now, thank you, sir, at 35. 40 online. And 45 seated at 45. At 45 bid. 50 online. At 55 now. At 55.
Does it always go up in 5s? Would anybody come on and say, I'll give you 90 for this? No.
Not really. I mean, it'd be nice if they
Just
did.
keep climbing.
I mean, we're at 70. It's climbing. 75. We're getting there.
80. At 80 bid 5. At 85.
85. It's climbing up 90. We might hit 3
We've got
figures.
90.
Oh, let's get 3 figers. 95. One more.
85 unbid. Any advance in that with the gentleman? 100 now. At 100.
3 figures.
And 10. 110. At 110 at 20. 120.
Really well.
At 120, 120, 120, 120, 120. All done at £120.
Yes!
An ace to finish.
That was close. Very, very
Quite-
close.
I think we all had a good day, actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we go?
Yeah.
Could we have a tiebreaker on our hands? Well, I've done the sums, so you don't have to. Greg and Raj began this road trip with £400 to spend. After today's sale room costs, they've made a profit of just less than £87, ending up with £486.60. Judy and Angus started with the same amount. Taking into account today's auction charges, they too have made a profit of just over £100, meaning a final tally of £503.30. That means it's game, set and match to Team Scotland, with all that profit going to children in need.
Well done, guys. It was
Thanks
a fun
again.
experience.
No, it's been fantastic.
It's been absolutely
pleasure.
great.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for all the tips. And
you
thanks for the victory, partner.
Well done.
See you.
It was fun.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Time to hit the road.
Oh, this has been a lot of fun, hasn't it, Judy?
Yeah, I've absolutely loved it. I mean, it could be a change of career for us.
Well, let's not exaggerate now. Too much, Judy.
Cheerio.